What's going on, everyone? It's Kochyy here, and we have the information on round 1 of Step Ups, 4th anniversary, featuring the new units, Mugetsu Ichigo as well as fully holified Ichigo. And you know the drill. As usual, I'm going to go over their stats and skills and gameplay and give you my thoughts and impressions on them. And let's not waste too much time and let's get right into it. So starting with the first character, 4th anniversary final Getsuga Tensho Ichigo. He is a heart attribute character with 1082 stamina, 642 attack, 356 defense, 351 focus, as well as 802 SP, just crazy. His abilities, his killers, I should say, he has 2 killer effects. He has Hollow Killer as well as no affiliation. So I guess that was kind of the thing they wanted to go for this character, to set him a bit different from other characters in the game. He's not a tag team character, but they decided to give him 2 killers. And the no affiliation killer, as always, it's not very potent in like other game modes, but for Guild Quest definitely it can be pretty helpful because they always use no affiliation enemies, and sometimes there's Guild Quests with dual enemies as well. Actually, this Guild Quest, it's mind enemies, and I believe it's hollow and no affiliation mixed in. So, and this is a heart Ichigo with those 2 killers as well, so he'd actually be pretty perfect for this Guild Quest, aside from not being a ranged unit. But anyway, further into his kit, his special is Transcendent God Rock, interesting name. A jet black, sword-shaped spiritual pressure attack that causes immense damage and inflicts weaken. His soul trait is strong attack recharge time 12%, and his skills are bruiser 20%, devastation 40%, sprinter +2, so similar to Anniversary Ichigo and Quincy Ichigo, having the extra sprinter, or the extra flash step I should say. Freeze duration -100%, Frenzy, Debilitator +5 seconds, as well as Recover 20% stamina. So they really kind of went for this dual aspect with this character, with having 2 killers, and they gave him a extra soul trait in the form of a skill, pretty much. So I think he should be pretty good for autoing, honestly. Healing in between rooms, and then you can just go, like, you don't even have to worry about running a heal link or anything. You can just go full Star Links. So really, well, I mean, that remains to be seen, but really interested in this character. I think just based on this, he looks pretty solid. But let's get into the gameplay here. Bring this back, full screen, and here we go.
Mugens. これで分かっただろ。
Alright, that was his gameplay. I'll just go over it again. I like his special. I like how it goes black and white, and this part they stayed true to I guess how it was in the show. It's just complete silence. The sound just cuts out and you just hear his voice at the end. I don't know what he says, but I think it's pretty cool. His SA3 is full screen strong attack. My only issue with this, I noticed, is that it's kind of slow to start up. Guess I can slow it down a bit. And you can see here, the button is pressed and there's a bit of a wind up before he attacks everything on screen. So it's a bit slow there. His SA2 is a cone-shaped AoE going in front of him, and I think it hits a little in the back. I'd say it's similar to like Thousand Year Blood War, Toshiro, Hakone, as well as Kokuto. They all have the same kind of cone-shaped strong attack. It hits in front and a little bit behind. And it's a good strong attack. I like that type. And then lastly, his SA1 is a lunge forward. Not a bad strong attack either. And then his Nat string looks fairly average. Nothing too outstanding, but not too bad either. So that is the final Getsuga version of Ichigo. Honestly, I think he looks pretty solid. Other than just his SA3, I think it could be a bit quicker, but can't have everything. His killer effect, like I said before, no affiliation, not the best. I mean, if he had a second killer like Soul Reaper, honestly, he'd be so great, but the no affiliation killer is also okay. The extra sprinter is nice, and his kit overall seems solid, and he's a SAR character, so really looking forward to this character. I think he's pretty good, and they did a pretty decent job with making him. But anyway, that's it for this Ichigo, so we'll move on to the next one. Alright, and the next character we're going to look at is the 4th anniversary version of fully holified Ichigo. He is a mind attribute character, and honestly, disappointing to see that because the original version is also mind, and they had 4 other attributes to choose from, but I guess they just really wanted to do the kind of opposite attributes thing with heart and mind. It's whatever, but anyway, getting into his stats, he has 1094 stamina, 777 attack, 377 defense, 361 focus, as well as 624 SP. He has Captain Killer, so that is a PvP unit if I've ever seen one. His special is Imminent God Blues with incredible speed and power. Ichigo fires an intense aerial zero that inflicts immense damage. His soul trait is Last Ditch Survival Rate 100%. Disappointed to see that. His attainable skills are Flurry, Devastation 20%, Poise, Decreased Captain Damage Taken minus 20%, Berserker 30%, Sprinter +1, as well as Prevent Brave Battle Healing. So if you don't know these skills, but I'll just go over them. Prevent Brave Battle Healing disables any healing effect of enemy strong attacks or special moves during brave battles. And Decreased Captain Damage Taken reduces damage taken from Captain affiliation enemies. So they've made a mind attribute character with Captain Killer that takes less damage from captains, is not a captain himself, and also prevents healing. I wonder who they were targeting with this really specific character. Obviously, Thousand Year Blood War Unohana. But like the weird thing is, she's already not that prevalent in PvP since Noitora's release. Of course people still use her, but she's not like used as lead anymore. She is also sometimes not even used in the team. She's being phased out of PvP already with Noitora's release, and I don't really understand this character's goal or purpose because Noitora already does a fine job of dealing with her, and this character seems like a bit over the top. And I get that not everyone has Noitora, and having more options is fine as well, but it's like I said, like Unohana's not really the problem in PvP anymore. It's Noitora that's the problem in PvP, and I'm not crying for like say we need a Noitora counter, but I don't know. It feels like it's overdone at this point. Like we don't need more characters to counter Unohana, so I'm not really sure this character's place in PvP right now. And furthermore, I'll just get into this right now, but his skills, so Prevent Brave Battle Healing, like I said, that's only really relevant to Unohana since she's the only really relevant healer in PvP right now. Obviously in the future they could release more healers that are viable for PvP, and then this character has more of a demanding role to counter all that effective health that characters can get. And then his other skill, Decreased Captain Damage Taken minus 20%. So he takes 20% less damage from captains. So you can look at it as a 20% DR link, I guess, if he's going up against a captain, only captains. But the issue here is that of the current most seen PvP units, Power Kenpachi, Tech Yamamoto, Heart, Unohana, Mind, Noitora, as well as Speed, Chad. Of those units, 2 of them aren't captains. Chad and Noitora are both commonly seen PvP units. If this character goes up against them, he doesn't get this soul trait. It's basically not there. On top of that, he has a Last Ditch soul trait. All those other units have DR. So, if he goes up against Chad and Noitora, they have more DR than him. He's going to be taking more damage, and his Last Ditch, is going to proc. And with how Last Ditch has been changed, of like a recent update, whenever they are in that revival period, the unit is no longer locked to that reviving unit. You know, they quickly go to another lane and they help out. And the way I have found Last Ditch to work at this point for me is that whenever I go up against a Last Ditch team and their character goes into that state and they're reviving, it's like a domino effect. My characters quickly move onto the other lanes. It becomes a 2 versus 1, and it just collapses in on itself. I just like insta win after that because you know, the other characters in the other lanes can't really take a beating from 2 characters at once, and then 3 characters at once, and then the Last Ditch unit revives and just gets instantly killed by my 3 remaining units. So I honestly don't see Last Ditch as powerful anymore. It was pretty annoying back then because it would really just stall the match and remove any momentum you had and bring it closer and closer to the Soul Bomb, in which case, you know, if someone grabbed the Soul Bomb, you would easily lose. But yeah, I don't really see that trait as strong, and like I said, he is missing basically DR against the 2 non-captain units, which are pretty prevalent in PvP. So yeah, honestly, I don't really see this character being too great. I mean, like, I'm not saying like he won't do his job in PvP as a mind captain killer. It's just that yeah, I think he's just way too specifically designed to counter Unohana when she's not even really that much of an issue anymore. But yeah, anyway, that's enough about his stats and skills. Let's just get into this gameplay. This is going to take way too long. So this gameplay. Oh, come on, dude. He's done that before on Twitter videos. Of course, dude. Come on. Alright, so that was his gameplay. I'll just go over it again. I love his special move. I think his special move looks amazing. It's definitely one of my favorites in the game. And like the sound effect, like the roar he does when he's firing the Zero. I love everything about the special move. The zoom in on his character, the explosion, and then the silhouette kind of here. I think it's great. His SA3 is a full screen. He like jumps up in the air. Actually, I'll mute the audio. I don't know why it's still buffering at certain points of the video. But anyway, his SA3 is a full screen. He does like a Zero blast from the sky. I think it's like the same as his special, pretty much. And there you go, buffer again. His SA2 is a kind of lunge forward. Pretty good distance forward. And then there's his SA1 again, which is another lunge. So he has 2 lunging type strong attacks. And then we have his Nad string right after this buffer. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It seems decent. It doesn't seem like. I think it's a bit on the slower side comparatively to some of the faster Nad strings you've gotten, like Noitoro and stuff. I think it's a bit slower. I have to see that again. It's hard to really tell from this gameplay. Yeah, it feels like a bit slower, but overall, I do like how his strong attacks look and his special and everything like that. But like I said, this is a PvP unit. This unit is really specifically designed to counter Unohana when Unohana really isn't an issue anymore. So I'm not really sure how his plays will fit into PvP right now. I don't think he's all too great. But you know, maybe he'll be okay for autoing on another mind unit, you know, available for autoing purposes. But other than that, that is pretty much it for these two characters. Here are the fillers for this banner, and I really like the fillers. I don't have a lot of these units. I'm missing, Yoruichi, Shinji, Nell, Michika, Shunsui, and Renji. I'm actually missing like everything from here. So I'm really looking forward to this first round of step-ups, but keep in mind that we do have round 2 with 1000 Year Blood War. I don't know about you guys, but I will probably summon a bit on this. Not too much though, because I'm more interested in 1000 Year Blood War, and all these units I listed that I don't have, they will be back in one shape or form, right? They'll be back sooner or later in other fillers and other banners, stuff like that. So really looking forward to the step-ups. I think the fillers are great. I think for the most part the units are okay. Like I like the Mugetsu Ichigo. This one not so much, but it's alright. But that's pretty much it for this video. So hopefully you guys hopefully you found this video informative and helpful for you, and what I tried to explain made sense. But other than that, let me know what you think about the step-ups, and if you're gonna summon on this, or you're skipping, or you're just waiting for 1000 Year Blood War. But other than that, I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll talk to you all later.